Okay, let's talk about reviews and reputation management. Forgive the congestion and the allergies here. Let's get right into it. So if you go to settings, let me move my big head out the way. If you go to settings and reputation, you'll see a few fields here. So first is the send review request, which is what we all want to do. When you get this set up, and I'm moving ahead of myself, when you get this set up, you'll see one of two options. You can either go to type a name in, and after you type that name in, type an email or a phone number. And after you type that email or phone number in, depending on what you type in, it will send that review request. But let's go back to see how we can actually set this up. So what we're going to do is first and foremost go to integrations. And after we go to integrations, we are going to connect our Google account for analytics, for our regular Google task, and what we're talking about here, Google My Business. We have to make sure that this is integrated first before we have a chance to send out any review requests and utilize all the features that we have in the playbook for the review process. So once we get Google My Business integrated to our account, we're going to go to reputation again, and then we're going to make a decision on whether we want the review request to immediately send, or we can have a custom schedule here for review requests. I suggest that you have an immediate review request sent once you make that request. And you're able to make that request in one of a few ways. One way is check-in client, which has a similar process as to what we just saw in settings and reputation. And another way is to go to settings, reputation, and click on send review request. So what we want to do is make sure we have that message communicated exactly how we want. So custom review SMS, this is a text message that sends out to the user. You can add an image if you like, and the text message here that you want to send as you send out that request. And here is what the email will look like as well once you fill in this information. And whenever you send out that email request for a review, this is what we'll send out. And one thing to note, when you see these reviews, you also have a chance to add it to your website. So review widget display is basically a fancy way of saying I have a code here that I can add to anything that lets you add any HTML code to your website, to a funnel. You can add this code and you will have this show up. And what I was mentioning earlier, nothing below a 4-star is going to show up here on the review process. So this is only going to show the reviews that are 4 and above. All right. So once you get that integration with Google My Business, and once you configure and make sure that you have the communication in line for the emails, for the text messages, now you are able to generate a link, and you want to make sure you test that link. So I'm going to copy and paste. If you don't have one, generate one, and then you're going to go to the next tab, type in this link, and what should happen is it should automatically pop up a white box that is going to ask you to leave a request. And you want to check to make sure that that box is active, that it's working whenever you put that link in the URL, so that it gives people an option to leave a review. So this is me testing it. You have a map here that shows up if you have your location attached in the playbook and with Google My Business. And as you can see, something popped up here, which is what we want exactly. So I'm going to go back. And save this one more time just to make sure. And now you're able to send out a review request here, check in client here, which is also another way of having a review request. And do not forget that you have an option on the side here to manage your reputation. You can see the overview, how many people you've invited, how many reviews you've received in the particular time, what the basis of that sentiment is, the average rating, the trends for the invites and reviews, the latest requests that you've sent out, and a combination of all the reviews that you've gotten over time. You can also send your requests or see your requests that have gone out as of recently, and all the reviews here. And another chance, again, to send out a review request, adding the customer name and the email or phone. And here's an easy way to respond to those reviews that you receive and filter out the reviews that you want to answer via Google or Facebook. So, pretty quick, but hopefully thorough rundown of what the review and the reputation management process looks like for you guys. If you have any questions, make sure to email support@hoopsinstitute.com.